Hi, I'm Miracle, and before I continue, please like and subscribe. One click from you means more stories can be shared. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers and make a difference. Let's begin. The night started perfectly normal. That's how these things always begin, right? With absolute normalcy. My son Eric had invited me over for dinner, a casual Friday evening affair that had become our little tradition since his wife Vanessa had gotten that promotion at the law firm. I pulled into their driveway, admiring the tidy suburban home they'd purchased last spring. The lawn was freshly mowed, and the porch light glowed warmly against the approaching dusk. "Mom, you're right on time," Eric greeted me with a hug as I stepped through the doorway. "Vanessa's just finishing up a call. Work stuff." "No problem, sweetheart. Where are the kids?" "In the backyard with Rosa. She's been a lifesaver with the twins." Rosa was their housekeeper, a quiet woman from Colombia who'd been working for them for about 6 months. I'd met her a handful of times, always found her pleasant but reserved. "Can I get you something to drink?" Eric asked, leading me to the kitchen. "Just water for now. I brought that Pinot Noir your father loves, though." Eric's face tightened slightly. "Dad's not coming. He texted that he's running late, meeting with a client." I placed the wine bottle on the counter. "You know how he is with work." "Yeah, I know exactly how Dad is," Eric muttered, turning away to grab a glass. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing, Mom. Just nothing." The evening continued with that strange undercurrent. Vanessa emerged from her home office, all smiles but with shadows under her eyes that makeup couldn't quite conceal. "Miracle, so good to see you." She embraced me warmly. "The twins have been asking about you all day." "Where are my little monsters?" I asked, peering toward the back door. "Rosa's giving them a bath, dinner in 20. We chatted about ordinary things, Vanessa's cases, Eric's new project at the architectural firm, my volunteer work at the community garden. But something felt off. Glances exchanged when they thought I wasn't looking. Conversations that died when I entered a room. "Eric seems distracted tonight," I mentioned to Vanessa as we set the table together. "Is everything okay at work?" Vanessa hesitated, folding a napkin with excessive precision. "Work's fine, he's been worried about you, actually." "About me? Why would he be worried about me?" "You know how he gets," Vanessa said quickly. "Always the protective son. Takes after his father that way." I raised an eyebrow. "Does he?" "Well, maybe not in all ways," Vanessa conceded, looking uncomfortable. Halfway through dinner, my husband James still hadn't arrived. "Has anyone heard from Dad?" I asked, checking my phone for the third time. Eric and Vanessa exchanged another look. "What? What aren't you telling me?" "Mom, it's nothing," Eric said, refilling my wine glass. "You know Dad's always been unreliable." "He's not unreliable, he's busy. There's a difference." Vanessa cleared her throat. "Of course, Miracle. More pasta?" After dinner, while Eric and Vanessa argued quietly in the kitchen about something I couldn't quite hear, I offered to help Rosa clean up. She kept her eyes down as we cleared the table. "Mrs. Miracle, you are very kind, lady." "Thank you, Rosa. And please, just Miracle is fine." She glanced toward the kitchen, then back at me. "Mrs. Miracle, I shouldn't say, but..." She hesitated, then leaned closer. "Don't go home tonight." I nearly dropped the plate I was holding. "What?" "Please, not safe. Don't go home." She quickly returned to gathering silverware. "Rosa, what are you talking about? What's not safe?" She shook her head fiercely. "I say too much, but you good lady. Please, find reason to stay here tonight." "Rosa, you're scaring me. Is someone at my house? Is James in danger?" "No danger for Mr. James," she whispered, her eyes darting nervously to the kitchen. "My cousin, she clean for neighbors. She see things, hear things, not good things." Before I could press further, the twins burst into the dining room, freshly bathed and in their pajamas. "Grandma, will you read us a story?" 7-year-old Emma asked, tugging at my hand. "Of course, sweetie," I said, distracted by Rosa's warning. "Read the princess one," her brother Jack demanded, bouncing on his toes. No, the dragon one, Emma countered. How about I read both? I suggested, forcing a smile. After tucking in the twins and reading them 3 stories, I returned downstairs to find Eric and Vanessa sitting tensely in the living room. Mom, why don't you stay in the guest room tonight? Eric suggested immediately. It's getting late and you've had some wine. I've had 1 glass over 3 hours. What's going on? Rosa told me not to go home. She said it wasn't safe. Eric paled. Vanessa covered her face with her hands. Someone better tell me what's happening right now, I demanded, my heart racing. Mom, sit down, Eric said gently. I don't want to sit down. I want answers. Dad's having an affair, Eric blurted out. With his assistant, Megan. I laughed. I actually laughed. That's ridiculous. Your father and I have been married for 35 years. It's been going on for 8 months, Vanessa said quietly. We found out at Christmas when she texted him while his phone was on the counter. And you didn't tell me? I felt betrayed twice over. He swore it was over, Eric explained. He begged us not to say anything, said it was a mistake, that he'd ended it. But he didn't end it, Vanessa continued. Last week I saw them together at that new restaurant downtown. They didn't see me. My legs finally gave out and I sank into the armchair. That doesn't explain why Rosa told me not to go home. Eric and Vanessa exchanged another glance. What? What else? Dad called earlier, Eric said hesitantly. He asked if you were here and when you'd be leaving. He sounded strange. He's moved some money around lately, Vanessa added. Her background in corporate law made her notice such things. Large withdrawals from your joint accounts. And Rosa's cousin cleans for the Johnsons next door to you, Eric continued. She saw Megan's car parked in your driveway this afternoon. My mind raced. James had been distant lately, working late. Weekends suddenly filled with client meetings, a new wardrobe, the classic signs I'd somehow missed or chosen to ignore. I need to go home, I said suddenly, standing up. I need to see for myself. Mom, no, Eric protested. Stay here tonight. Confront him tomorrow in daylight when you're calmer. Calmer? You think I should be calm about this? That's not what he meant, Vanessa interjected. We're worried about you. Dad's been erratic. What does that mean? He's been drinking more, Eric explained. And Rosa's cousin overheard him arguing with someone on the phone, yelling about money and divorce papers. Divorce papers? The room seemed to tilt. Give me your keys, I demanded, holding out my hand to Eric. If you won't drive me, I'll go myself. Mom, now, Eric. You're upset, Mom. Let me at least come with you, he pleaded. Fine, I relented, but I need to do this tonight. I'm coming too, Vanessa declared, grabbing her coat. You shouldn't face this alone, Miracle. What about the twins? Rosa can stay with them. They're already asleep. 20 minutes later, we pulled up across the street from my house. Megan's red Audi was indeed in the driveway. The lights were on downstairs. I can't believe this, I whispered. We can still go back to my place, Eric offered. Deal with this tomorrow. No, I've been blind long enough. I'm coming in with you, he insisted. No, this is between your father and me. Mom, I'm not letting you— Eric, please, I need to do this myself. At least, let me wait nearby, he compromised. Just in case. Fine, but give me 10 minutes alone first. He reluctantly agreed to wait in the car after I promised to call for help if anything seemed dangerous. I used my key to enter quietly through the side door that led to the kitchen. I could hear voices from the living room. James, we need to move faster, a woman's voice, presumably Megan's, said. She's not stupid. Eventually, she'll notice the money. She hasn't noticed for months, my husband replied. Miracle trusts me completely. That's her weakness. And what about the beach house? When can we list it? Next week. I've already moved the deed. She won't have any claim to it. And the divorce papers? Filed yesterday. She'll be served on Monday. I felt sick. The beach house had been my parents' retirement home. They'd left it to me when they died. It wasn't even in our joint names. How had he moved the deed? What about your son? He suspects something. James laughed coldly. Eric? He's too caught up in his own life to interfere. Besides, once we're in Belize, it won't matter what anyone thinks. Belize? My head spun. I must have made a noise because suddenly the conversation stopped. Did you hear something? Megan asked. I didn't wait. I walked directly into the living room. Hello, James? Megan? They froze like guilty teenagers. James recovered first, standing up from the couch. Miracle, you're home early. Am I? Or are you just running late for our son's dinner? I looked at Megan, who at least had the decency to look uncomfortable. Nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about your professional skills. Miracle, this isn't... James began. What? This isn't what it looks like? Because it looks like you're planning to steal my beach house, drain our accounts, and run off to Belize with your assistant. Megan grabbed her purse. I should go. No, stay, I said calmly. This concerns you too. Miracle, let's talk about this reasonably, James said, using his boardroom voice. Reasonably? Like how you reasonably forged my signature to transfer my parents' property? Or how you reasonably planned to divorce me after 35 years without even a conversation? How did you know about the beach house? His face darkened. I know everything, James. I know about the money, the beach house, Belize. I know you've been sleeping with Megan since August. I was bluffing about knowing exactly when it started, but his reaction confirmed Eric's timeline. Who told you? Was it Eric? Vanessa? Does it matter? You weren't exactly subtle. Megan edged toward the door. James, I'm leaving. Don't bother, I said. I'm not staying. I just came to get some things. James followed me upstairs to our bedroom. Miracle, be reasonable. We can work something out. Like what? You keep half of everything you've stolen from me? I haven't stolen anything. We're married. It's all joint property. Except my parents' beach house, which you somehow managed to put in your name. That was a mistake in the paperwork. A mistake? Like accidentally filing for divorce? Or accidentally planning to flee the country? You're making this worse than it needs to be. I pulled a suitcase from the closet and began filling it. No, you did that all on your own. What are you doing? Where are you going? Away from you. You can't just leave. Watch me. He grabbed my arm. Miracle, stop and listen to me. I yanked away. Don't touch me. This is my house too. You can't just... Your house? You mean the house I inherited from my aunt? The house that's only in my name because you insisted it would be better for tax purposes? That house? His face changed, the mask of reasonableness dropping completely. You ungrateful bitch. Do you know how many years I've wasted with you? Living your boring suburban life? Going to garden club functions and community theater? No one forced you to stay, James. And leave with nothing? After all I've put into this marriage? I deserve compensation for my time. I laughed bitterly. Is that what Megan is? Compensation? Megan understands ambition. She doesn't just want to grow tomatoes and bake cookies for the neighbors. Then you two deserve each other. Enjoy Belize. I pushed past him with my suitcase. Megan was gone, but I could see her car still in the driveway. She was probably waiting for James to smooth things over. This isn't over, Miracle, James called after me. You'll regret this. I turned back. No, James, you will. I walked out to Eric's car, threw my suitcase in the back seat, and climbed in. Mom, are you okay? Drive, I said flatly. Just drive. At Eric's house, I called my friend Diane, a retired detective who now worked as a fraud investigator for insurance companies. I need your help, I told her after explaining the situation. James has stolen from me, forged documents, and he's planning to leave the country. I'm on it, Diane promised. We'll get everything back. And Miracle, he won't get away with this. How can you be sure? I asked, voice breaking. Because men like James always leave a trail, Diane said confidently. They think they're clever, but they make mistakes. And I've spent 20 years catching people like him. I feel so stupid, I admitted. 35 years, and I had no idea who he really was. That's not stupidity, that's love and trust, Diane corrected me. He's the villain here, not you. Over the next week, things moved quickly. Diane discovered James had indeed forged my signature on documents transferring the beach house. He'd also been siphoning money from our accounts into offshore holdings. With Diane's evidence, we filed charges. The forensic accountant she recommended found evidence of tax evasion going back years. You see this pattern here? Diane pointed to a spreadsheet on her laptop. Classic embezzlement. He's been skimming from your joint accounts for years, not just months. What about the beach house? We've already filed to invalidate the transfer. The notary whose stamp appears on the document, she never met you. Clear case of fraud. James and Megan never made it to Belize. They were stopped at the airport by federal agents. Turns out, when you try to leave the country with unreported cash and forged property documents, people take notice. 2 months later, I sat in Vanessa's law firm, signing the divorce papers. James had tried to apologize, claim it was all a misunderstanding, that he still loved me. I didn't even respond. The prosecutor is offering him a deal, Vanessa explained. 5 years instead of 15 if he returns all assets and pleads guilty to the forgery and tax evasion. And Megan? Facing charges as an accomplice, but likely to get probation if she testifies. Eric squeezed my hand. Are you okay with this, Mom? Yes, I said simply. It's over. That evening, sitting on the porch of my beach house, watching the sunset, Rosa came to join me. After everything happened, she'd quit working for Eric and Vanessa and asked if she could work for me instead. Mrs. Miracle, you are a strong woman, she said, setting a glass of iced tea beside me. Thank you, Rosa, and thank you for warning me that night. She nodded. My husband in Colombia, he was like Mr. James. I know the signs. What happened with your husband? She smiled slightly. He is now a very poor man who lives with his mother. I laughed, genuinely laughed for the first time in months. Mrs. Miracle, what will you do now, with your life? I looked out at the ocean. I don't know yet, but I know I won't waste any more time with people who don't value me. This is good plan, Rosa nodded approvingly. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. 35 years gone, but somehow, I felt lighter than I had in decades. Rosa, I asked, watching the last light fade, do you think some betrayals are too deep to ever forgive? Or are we supposed to find a way to let go of the anger, even if we never let that person back into our lives?